My brothers and sisters, in a world where every moment is captured, posted, discussed, and judged, where privacy is seen as suspicious and silence is mistaken for weakness, let me remind you of a timeless truth: not everything about your life deserves an audience. Some of your greatest blessings are destroyed the moment they are announced. Some of your deepest wounds are opened wider the moment you explain them, and some of your most sacred journeys lose their beauty when exposed to people who were never meant to witness them. Not everyone who knows your story wants good for you. This is a reality many people learn only after being wounded by the very hearts they trusted. When you open the doors of your life, you are not only letting people see your journey, you are giving them access to your vulnerabilities, your fears, your dreams, and your struggles. And the truth is, not every listener has a pure intention. Some people remain close only to observe, to compare, or to quietly hope you fail so they can feel better about themselves. They listen not to support you, but to gather information, to measure your progress against their own insecurities, or to use your weaknesses as silent ammunition. There are people who smile at you but feel threatened by your growth. They compliment you but feel jealous of your blessings. They stay updated on your life not because they care, but because your story entertains them. For such hearts, your happiness becomes their discomfort, and your progress becomes their fear. They may never harm you openly, but their silent negativity, their hidden envy, and their unspoken comparisons create an energy around you that can quietly affect your peace. Sharing your story with the wrong people is like handing a delicate glass to someone who doesn't mind if it slips. They may act interested, but they don't value the fragility of what you're holding. Some will encourage you to share more just so they have more to discuss behind your back. Others will pretend to advise you only to disguise their criticism as concern, and a few will use your past mistakes or present challenges as examples in their conversations with others, forgetting that your trust was never meant to be scattered in public spaces. This is why protecting your story is not selfish. It is wise. You must learn to recognize the difference between someone who listens to understand and someone who listens to repeat. Between someone who truly wants to see you rise and someone who quietly waits for you to fall. Not everyone is meant to walk into the deeper rooms of your life. Some should remain at the doorway, some at a distance, and some completely outside. Your story is sacred. Not everyone deserves access to it. When you share it selectively, you protect your peace. When you guard it carefully, you preserve your strength. And when you keep it private, you keep it in the hands of the one who actually wants good for you. Privacy protects peace in ways many people don't realize until their lives become overcrowded with opinions, expectations, and unnecessary noise. When you keep parts of your life private, you create a boundary that shields your heart from the judgments and assumptions of others. The world today encourages constant sharing. Post your feelings, display your achievements, announce your plans. But every time you expose another piece of your life, you invite more voices into your mind. Some will praise, some will criticize, and some will simply observe with envy. All of this slowly chips away at your inner calm. Peace thrives in silence. Your deepest contentment grows in moments when your thoughts, choices, and experiences belong solely to you. When you keep your personal matters within a small circle, sometimes only between you and Allah, you avoid the weight of people's reactions. You don't worry about who misunderstood you or who twisted your words. You don't feel the pressure to explain yourself, defend your decisions, or justify your journey. Privacy frees you from the exhausting need to be understood by everyone. People often carry invisible burdens because they have shared too much. They fear judgment, they fear gossip, they fear that their words will be repeated, altered, or used against them. But when you choose privacy, you remove those fears completely. Your life becomes simpler. Your mind becomes clearer, your heart becomes lighter. No negative opinions, no comparisons, no unnecessary drama, just peace. Privacy also protects your blessings. When you share your happiness too early or too openly, you expose it to eyes that may not be happy for you. Not everyone who smiles is supportive. Not everyone who congratulates is sincere. Some carry silent jealousy, and their envy can affect you in ways you don't see. Keeping your blessings private allows them to grow without interference and without attracting unnecessary attention. Moreover, privacy gives you control over your narrative. When people don't know everything about you, they cannot define you, label you, or limit you. They cannot comment on matters they don't understand. They cannot interfere in decisions they know nothing about. This gives you freedom to grow, change, and heal without the pressure of others watching or questioning. Your peace is precious, and privacy is one of its strongest protectors. When you guard your personal life, you guard your heart. When you limit access to your reality, you limit the influence of negativity. And in that quiet space, your peace finds room to breathe, flourish, and strengthen. Your blessings grow in silence because everything meaningful in life needs protection while it is still developing. Just like a seed planted deep in the soil, your dreams, plans, and opportunities require darkness, stillness, and privacy to take root. When you announce them too early, you expose them to wind, storms, and hands that may try to uproot them before they are strong enough to survive. Silence gives your blessings the space to grow without interference, without jealousy, and without unnecessary expectations. Many people rush to share good news the moment it enters their life. They speak about opportunities before they are confirmed, relationships before they are stable, goals before they are secured. And often, soon after sharing, things start to fall apart. Not because the blessing was wrong, but because it was revealed before it was ready. The eyes of people, whether filled with admiration, envy, or curiosity, can affect the fragile phases of your journey. Silence protects you from energy that could weaken your motivation, your clarity, and your progress. When you keep your blessings private, you focus more on nurturing them than displaying them. You work with intention, without the pressure of being watched or the fear of being questioned. You grow naturally, without trying to impress anyone or explain yourself. In silence, your efforts are sincere, your steps are steady, and your direction is guided. You are not distracted by opinions, comparisons, or doubts. You simply grow. There is also wisdom in allowing results to speak for themselves. Some blessings shine brighter when they are revealed at the right time. When you surprise the world with progress instead of promising progress, you protect your confidence and avoid the burden of living up to expectations. Silence gives you the freedom to change plans without judgment, to adjust your goals without criticism, and to evolve without explanations. Furthermore, silence protects your blessings from the negativity of others. Not everyone wants to see you succeed, even if they pretend to. Some people carry silent envy, others project their fears onto your dreams. When your blessings are hidden, they remain untouched by such feelings. They grow under the watch of the one who gave them to you, not under the eyes of those who may resent them. Your blessings grow in silence because silence is their safest environment. When you guard what is growing, it becomes stronger. When you nurture your blessings privately, they flourish beautifully. And when they are finally revealed, they stand firm, unshaken by the world, because they were allowed to grow in peace. Hearts change and people change. This is one of the most consistent truths of life. The person who stands with you today may not stand with you tomorrow. The one who consoles you now may one day distance themselves. The one who protects you today may unintentionally hurt you later. Human beings are not fixed. Their emotions, priorities, loyalties, and intentions shift with time, experiences, and circumstances. This is why placing your deepest secrets into the hands of people, no matter how close they seem, can become a source of pain later in life. When you share your secrets, you are giving someone access to parts of your heart that cannot be taken back. You are handing them pages of your story that they can read, repeat, or reinterpret whenever their feelings about you change. And feelings do change. Disagreements happen, distances form, misunderstandings arise. A person who once protected your vulnerability may later use it as a weapon, intentionally or unintentionally, not because they are evil, but because human nature is unpredictable. Sometimes people change because their circumstances change. The friend who was once loyal may grow distant. The relative who supported you may become competitive. The companion who promised loyalty may meet others who influence their heart away from you. And in these shifts, your secrets, your mistakes, your insecurities, your struggles become things you wish you had never revealed. Even good-hearted people change. They may not betray you maliciously, but they may speak carelessly. They may confide in someone else, thinking it is harmless. They may mention your story to explain a point, forgetting how deeply it mattered to you. Your secrets become part of conversations that never should have existed, simply because human hearts are not constant. This is why wisdom teaches us to keep certain things between ourselves and the one whose heart never changes. The safest place for your secrets is within you and with the one who already knows them. When you guard your private matters, you protect yourself from future regret. You shield your dignity from being placed in the hands of people who may one day drift away. You free yourself from the fear of your past being brought up in moments of anger, confusion, or separation. Keeping your secrets safe is not mistrust, it is maturity. It is understanding that life is unpredictable, relationships evolve, and people are human. When you stop placing your heart entirely in the hands of others, you protect it from being broken by changes you cannot control. In silence, your dignity remains intact, your peace remains protected, and your private world remains safe. Your personal journey is between you and the one who guides it. No one else walks your exact path, feels your exact pain, carries your exact tests, or understands the wisdom behind what you go through. People may see your smile, but they don't know what it hides. They may witness your success, but they don't see the sacrifices behind it. They may observe your struggles, but they cannot understand the depth of your patience. This is why your journey is not for the world to debate or evaluate. It is a private conversation between your heart and the one who created it. Every chapter of your life has a purpose known only to the one who wrote it. The lessons you learn, the doors that open, the setbacks you face, and the paths you take are all crafted with divine precision. When you try to explain these things to others, they may misinterpret what you're experiencing because they are looking through a completely different lens. They do not see your unseen battles. They do not feel your silent prayers. They do not witness the nights when you stay awake seeking strength, guidance, or forgiveness. They only see the surface, and the surface is never enough to understand the depth of a soul. Your journey is sacred. It contains moments of weakness that you don't need to justify and moments of growth that you don't need to announce. Sometimes people try to advise you without understanding your struggles, or they judge you without knowing your circumstances. But they are not the ones who carry your burdens. They are not the ones who answer your prayers. They are not the ones who heal your wounds. So their opinions should never outweigh the guidance that comes from the one who knows you completely. When you stop seeking validation from people and start seeking clarity from the one who guides everything, your heart becomes lighter. You stop explaining yourself. You stop defending your choices. You stop feeling the need to make everyone understand. Instead, you focus on aligning your steps with what is right, not what is popular. You focus on growth, not approval. You focus on sincerity, not appearance. Your journey is yours alone, and the one who guides it knows every turn it will take. Trust him with what you cannot explain to others. Trust him with what you cannot carry alone. Trust him with the parts of your story that others would misunderstand. When you walk privately with the one who guides you, you walk safely, purposefully, and peacefully. Without needing the world to understand where you're going, silence is a form of wisdom, not weakness. It is one of the most powerful tools a person can possess, yet it is often misunderstood in a world that glorifies constant talking, explaining, posting, and reacting. People sometimes assume that if you are silent, you have nothing to say, nothing to defend, or nothing to contribute. But silence is not emptiness. It is strength. It is the ability to control your tongue, your emotions, and your reactions when others cannot. There are moments in life when silence becomes your greatest protection. When people misunderstand you, silence keeps you from lowering yourself to endless justifications. When people provoke you, silence keeps you from saying words you will regret. When people gossip about you, silence keeps your dignity intact. Not every comment needs a response. Not every accusation needs clarification. Not every noise around you deserves your voice. Sometimes the wisest thing you can do is step back, observe, and allow time to reveal the truth. Silence also protects relationships. Many conflicts begin not because of what was said, but because of what was said in anger, without thinking, or without understanding the full situation. A silent moment can prevent a lifetime of regret. When you choose silence over reaction, you choose peace over chaos. You give yourself space to think clearly, to calm down, and to respond with wisdom instead of emotion. Beyond protection, silence nurtures inner growth. When you quiet the noise of the world, you begin to hear your own heart more clearly. You reflect, you learn, you grow. Silence helps you connect deeply with your soul and with the one who created it. In silence, your prayers become stronger, your thoughts become purer, and your understanding becomes sharper. It is in moments of stillness that true wisdom enters the heart. Furthermore, silence teaches discipline. It takes strength to speak, but it takes even greater strength to stay quiet when speaking could bring harm. Anyone can talk, but not everyone can restrain their tongue. Silence shows emotional maturity, humility, and foresight. It shows that you understand the weight of words and the consequences they carry. Choosing silence is not about hiding your voice. It is about valuing it. It is knowing when your words will bring benefit and when they will bring damage. It is recognizing that your energy is too precious to waste on arguments, gossip, or negativity. Silence is wisdom in action, a shield for your heart, and a reflection of inner strength. When you embrace silence, you protect your peace, elevate your character, and walk with dignity. In the end, my brothers and sisters, life becomes lighter and more meaningful when we learn what to share and what to guard. Not every heart is meant to carry our truth, not every ear is meant to hear our story, and not every moment of our life is meant for the world to witness. Protecting your privacy is not isolation, it is wisdom. It is choosing peace over chaos, sincerity over show, and grounding yourself in the quiet space where growth truly happens. Your blessings flourish when shielded. Your wounds heal when kept safe. Your journey becomes clearer when you stop seeking approval from people and start trusting the one who guides every step you take. Silence does not weaken you, it empowers you. It teaches you to rise with dignity, to move with purpose, and to live with a heart unburdened by unnecessary voices. Remember, your personal life is sacred. It deserves protection, respect, and careful boundaries. When you guard what matters, you guard your peace. When you limit access to your reality, you limit the influence of negativity. And when you walk privately with the one who knows you best, you walk a path filled with clarity, protection, and inner strength. So choose silence when needed, choose privacy when wise, choose growth without an audience, and choose to live in a way that your heart remains safe, your journey remains meaningful, and your peace remains untouched.